Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. Let 'em be doctors and lawyers and such. No, I'm no statistician, I'm no mathematician, I'm no magician. So I don't have a deep understanding of these statistics, but I do have a modicum of understanding when it comes to the basics, and there's a lot of dung being flung on YouTube walls, comment sections, and live chat room sections. And the dung is this. It's a number, 88%. 88% chance that in the case of missing Maysville woman Suzanne Morphew, Barry Morphew is the killer. 88% chance. Now, yes, it could be looking like it's actually higher than that, but this is the stat. Now, what people don't seem to be understanding is how they are reading the stat and getting it wrong. What is the actual fact? From what I understand, in the cases where a partner killed a partner, 88% of the time, the male is the killer. Now, I don't know with the remaining percentage how much would be female and how much would be some other identifying gender person, but 88% of the time, partner murder, it is the man killing the woman. Okay, so that is not the same as saying when a married woman is murdered, 88% of the time her husband killed her. Do you understand? So there's a difference between when a partner, out of 100 people murdered by partners, by their husband, wife, de facto, 88%, 88 of those killers are the male partner. It is completely different to saying out of 100 women murdered, 88% of the murderers were the husband or, partner. Okay? There's a percentage that is stranger, someone close, etc. Urocide, and I know I say this wrong, so let me try it again. Urocide, I think. When I'm learning new words, I do have learning difficulty sometimes. Learning new things and repetition is very important for me. And sometimes it just falls into place a bit slowly. But urocide, that is the man killing the woman. It's 38%. So out of 100 women who are killed, let's say, 38 of those women were killed by a male partner. Now then there'd be a percentage killed by a friend, a female partner, a parent, a son, a daughter would be a very small percentage possibly, for example, some sort of parasite, or I'm not sure what the term is. So do you see? So when I keep saying 88% chance that, let's say we knew nothing about the case, this is first broken, Suzanne's been reported missing, that clean slate of the unknown, it's a 38 out of 100 chance just statistically wise, without any other factors that we may know, that it was Barry Morphew who is responsible for the death. Let's just say if it was known that Suzanne was dead then, that is how many times out of 100 a chance it is, okay? So can we just be a little bit careful? I'm sure a lot of people agree with me on the importance of this. Now, obviously, as time goes by and we're learning all these new fun terms, aren't we, about, profiling and low risk and high risk victims, etc. But it is, we're learning all these fun things, but it is important to keep facts in mind as they stand from studies that have been done, and these are American studies, but for a lot of maybe similar cultures, perhaps they hold quite true, or similar demographics. I don't know. Is there anywhere really that's similar to America? Possibly not. So I just find that really irksome. It might seem trivial and annoying. And yes, because we don't know exactly what law enforcement know and what they're going to do in the future to string things together. Look, even if Suzanne was found, until the circumstances around that, where she is, evidence from her and that crime scene, you still can't say until it's been processed that it was 100% Barry, okay? Because it might show exactly the opposite, that it was, a particular style of death that wasn't thought of. There might be some DNA evidence, perhaps someone's DNA under fingernails, or perhaps that's been destroyed because she's been in water, but there's other evidence, perhaps a particular weapon will be exposed, etc. Perhaps simply by where she is found and how, that will point to a type of perpetrator. So, perhaps the types of evidence, including behavioural and all these types of evidence that point to the type of perpetrator, maybe is that, hopefully you would hope, wouldn't you, that would become so clear if Suzanne is found, or when, and obviously as time has gone by, that it becomes more difficult, doesn't it, to say that would be clear from finding her and examining evidence. But I think these things are really important because it changes how people think about things and what they consider. Because there's a lot of people that have had a lot of access to a lot of sites. There's a lot of people that had a lot of access to Suzanne, to take Suzanne from her home where she should have been safe for a lot of reasons. It is awful to think that any business dealings or just any personal relationships has caused Barry to take some sort of heinous action, or for someone to take some action because of Barry against Suzanne. This is just so painful to think about, so extraordinarily painful to think about. And gosh, I mean, to go through all of this, I mean, awful to think, would Suzanne want to have run away? Did she get away? But I don't know. I feel like someone would have spoken, some friend or someone would have known and have been able to speak openly to law enforcement and really push them along that way. And obviously then that does become extremely scary again about this being a partner, killing a partner when they're leaving. Women are extremely vulnerable. Men are afraid of being humiliated. Women are afraid men will kill us. This is what happens from perpetrators such as Chris Watts to Australia's Rowan Baxter to Australians Jared Baden Clay. You know, we are terrified of this because just the physicality. It is, and the way things are expressed through males, often very differently than they are. Generalization, yes, okay, so I shouldn't be, but through females. And yes, statistics don't lie, but can we get it very clear between what 88% represents, what 38% represents, and how that has changed through the course of the investigation? And now I'll shut up. I've got an absolute splitting headache. I'm sorry, I don't know really if anyone will enjoy listening to this video. I can't imagine they will. This has been a mammoth effort by a lot of people. The town of Salida, I don't know if they are feeling rather dichotomous about this, because on one hand being very open and gracious and welcoming and helpful, and on the other it must feel so strange. But this is a mammoth effort. I really hope it brings some resolution. You really misunderstand if you think for a second, I don't think searches should continue, etc., etc., etc. I'm just personally really sickened just when, things are said that are very, very goading and very, things are put to people that are actually quite just would be impossible to do. But anyway, I've talked about that. So I'll wish you good night. And in whichever type of home you're in, with whomever is around you, whether it's partners, children, friends, cats, dogs, fish, flatmates, fellow students, people you are a carer for, people that are your carers, perhaps no one. I'd like to remember what brings some of us here to YouTube and to true crime, and that is sometimes emotional pain, sometimes loneliness, sometimes curiosity. It might be morbid, it might just be intellectual, it might be emotional, it could be all sorts of reasons why a very eclectic, very diverse collection of people interact, have knowledge of one another, are looking through each other's windows, whether it's just into some sort of show home, a some sort of set, some sort of true glimpse into real life. We're all here for different reasons, but we're all watching the same thing. We're all watching the same thing. It's a shame sometimes we don't all have the same understanding. Good night.